Let's explore these mysteries together in today's video. The salt mummies of Iran. Deep within an ancient salt mine in Iran, archaeologists uncovered nearly intact mummies, preserved thanks to the salt-rich environment surrounding them. These fossilized remains, known as the saltmen, date back some 2,500 years and stand as silent witnesses to a long-ago underground tragedy. The process of salt mummification not only halted decay but also preserved delicate details like hair and even the personal belongings of the victims. Some of the mummies were found in rigid poses, with their facial expressions frozen in what seemed to be the very last moments of life. But what sets this salt mine apart is the archaeological strata stretching across thousands of years. Stratigraphic analysis shows that this area was once home to an ancient community, with a small town forming near the mine's entrance as far back as 7,000 years ago. During excavations, researchers not only found human mummies but also animal remains, household items, and metal artifacts. Isotopic data and DNA samples taken from animal mummies, such as sheep, have helped reconstruct the lives and habits of people who once lived and worked around this mine. Beyond the scientific theories about early salt mining in West Asia, archaeologists still grapple with ongoing debates surrounding the origins and fate of these ancient miners. Some even draw connections to Anunnaki legends, speculating that the salt works may once have seen the intervention of ancient extraterrestrials, leaving their mark through artifacts and the mummies themselves. Although no scientific evidence has yet confirmed these more speculative theories, Iran's ancient salt mines remain a priceless source of data, offering archaeology a vivid cross-section of prehistoric society, the birth of industry, and the close relationship between early people and the mineral wealth of salt. The saltmen are far more than mere artifacts. They open the door to deeper studies of historical milestones, environmental shifts, and the sweeping cultural exchanges that unfolded over countless millennia. The mystery of the luminous sea. The phenomenon known as milky seas has been observed by sailors on long voyages for centuries. Records and legends alike describe the ocean's surface suddenly lighting up at night, creating a band of pale white glow that stretches across the water, leading many to believe it was a sign or the work of some mysterious deep-sea life. Yet for generations, no one could truly explain the origins of this rare, unpredictable event. Only in modern times, thanks to technological advances and collaboration between scientists and sailors, has the mystery of the Milky Sea begun to unravel. A turning point came in 2019, when the crew of the Ganesha managed to record the entire phenomenon as the sea glowed for hours off the coast of Java. Their photos and collected water samples allowed scientists to finally identify the cause. It was not the result of chemicals or minerals, but of bioluminescent bacteria gathering in enormous densities just below the surface. The main mechanism behind the Milky Sea is called quorum sensing, a form of chemical communication among bacterial cells. When the concentration of these bacteria reaches a certain threshold, they simultaneously release chemical signals that trigger mass luminescence. This creates a broad, sustained ribbon of light stretching for many nautical miles and lasting for hours at a time. Unlike smaller flashes of ocean light caused by plankton or algae, the Milky Sea can cover vast areas thanks to the sheer density of bacteria such as Vibrio havaei and its relatives. The ecological significance of this phenomenon extends far beyond mere spectacle. These glowing bacteria can influence the marine food chain, attracting small fish and zooplankton, which in turn draw in larger species like whales and sharks. Scientists also believe this luminescence is a survival strategy, helping bacteria spread through the digestive tracts of marine animals, thus continuing the ocean's cycle of life. These findings have finally shed light on a centuries-old mystery and have opened new directions in the study of the roles that luminous bacteria play in marine ecosystems, contributing to our understanding of ocean biodiversity and the underlying processes that shape life beneath the waves. The legend of Merlin. Along the borderlands of Scotland, a team of archaeologists has been excavating the ancient fortress of Tennis, a site long woven into local legend as the place where the wizard Merlin was once imprisoned during the Dark Ages. Deep beneath the fortress, scientists uncovered a burial site in exactly the spot where ancient tales claimed Merlin had been laid to rest. The site's age matches the era when the fortress stood in the 6th century, the very period described in old chronicles as the time when Merlin lived among the northern lords. The burial materials, layers of earth, and grave goods all point to a funeral rite reserved for someone of great standing, though the exact identity of the individual remains a mystery. Tracing the evolution of Merlin's image throughout history, one can see echoes of many cultures. At first, Merlin appears as a druid or seer in the pagan Celtic tradition, linked with ancient rituals and supernatural powers of the deep forest. With the rise of Christianity in Britain, Merlin gradually transformed into a prophet and advisor to kings, eventually becoming a literary symbol in manuscripts from the 12th century onward. His name stands out most prominently in Geoffrey of Monmouth's History of the Kings of Britain, and later, writers and poets expanded the figure into the all-powerful wizard of Arthurian legend, a character that merges ancient wisdom with magical might. The archaeological layers beneath the fortress of Tennis do more than confirm the burial of a remarkable individual once held and laid to rest there. They open a window into how legends are born, showing how pagan and Christian traditions merged, how local rites became part of the medieval literary canon. This discovery adds a material dimension to a story retold for centuries, helping modern readers imagine the social context and mindset of post-Roman Britain, a time when the tales of Merlin became inseparable from the legacy of Europe. The legendary shield of Norse mythology. In Norse mythology, the image of the divine shield Zalin stands out as a symbol of protection for all life on Earth against the searing heat of the sun. According to ancient beliefs, Zalin was forged by the gods to keep the sun's fire from scorching the world of men. This story not only reveals a belief in supernatural forces, but also reflects the deep understanding the Norse people had of nature's balance. Zalin is more than just a physical barrier, it embodies the concept of moderation, the preservation of order between light and darkness, between cosmic power and the fragile existence of humankind. Seen through the lens of modern science, the legend of Zalin bears a striking resemblance to the ozone layer, an essential band of the atmosphere encircling the Earth. The ozone layer absorbs much of the sun's harmful ultraviolet radiation, maintains stable temperatures, and protects ecosystems from powerful rays. Thanks to the ozone layer, life has been able to flourish and evolve, free from constant threat by dangerous external forces. The parallel between the divine shield in Norse myth and the ozone layer shows how early people observed and explained the world through symbols, long before science could describe these processes in detail. Over the centuries, the Zalin myth has persisted as part of our shared intellectual heritage, bearing witness to the meeting of folklore and scientific knowledge. On a broader scale, the story of the legendary shield underscores the importance of collective awareness in shaping humanity's respect for, and responsibility to, the balance between ourselves and the natural world. The oldest living creatures in the universe. An international team of researchers, led by scientists from South Africa and Japan, announced a groundbreaking discovery in the field of ancient biology after drilling deep into the Bushveld rock layers. The samples they extracted contained microorganisms, determined to be as old as 2 billion years. Their remarkable longevity was confirmed by the presence of DNA and proteins still intact within their cells, a phenomenon never before observed in any other life form on Earth. What makes this discovery truly extraordinary isn't the cell structure or chemical composition, but the sheer ability to preserve life for billions of years in an environment utterly cut off from sunlight and air. Deep within the bedrock, these microorganisms survived by drawing energy directly from chemical reactions between water and minerals, rather than relying on photosynthesis like most surface life. The detection of active proteins molecules that can only be synthesized by living cells proved that these were not just fossilized remains, but genuine cells that have endured for 2 billion years. This discovery marks a major turning point in our understanding of the origin of life, opening up the possibility that the earliest forms of life could have appeared and survived under extreme conditions below the Earth's surface long before ecosystems developed on land. It also deepens theories about life beyond Earth by proving that organisms can emerge, persist, and adapt in isolated environments with no sunlight, where geochemical energy is the only available resource. Further research into the genomes and biological functions of these ancient microbes will provide evidence about primitive evolutionary processes, helping to unlock the mysteries of how life began not only on Earth but perhaps on other planets across the cosmos. The Emerald Tablet. Throughout the history of Western knowledge, the Emerald Tablet has appeared as a powerful symbol of natural philosophy and the art of alchemy. According to legend, this was a solid tablet of emerald inscribed with ancient characters, holding the ultimate principles that govern the universe. The tablet is inextricably linked to Hermes Trismegistus, a figure described as the embodiment of both Egyptian and Greek wisdom, the founder of Hermetic philosophy, and the father of Western alchemy. Ancient documents claim the emerald tablet was once buried beneath a statue of Hermes in Alexandria, the greatest center of learning in the Hellenistic world. Some records suggest it once belonged to Seth, the third son of Adam, before passing into the hands of Hermes. Medieval texts describe the tablet as the source of all knowledge, matter and spirit alike, and even of the secret of creating life from inanimate matter, hinting at principles that modern science is still trying to decipher. Despite its enormous influence, the emerald tablet has never been found as a physical artifact. Most accounts of the tablet survive through Arabic and Latin manuscripts from the 6th to 12th centuries, each recording the tablet's inscriptions in their own way. No archaeological discovery has ever revealed the actual emerald tablet, and there is no solid proof that Hermes Trismegistus was a historical person. Theories about the tablet's origin, fate, or present location remain the subject of ongoing philosophical and archaeological debate. Today, the emerald tablet is seen as a symbol for the never-ending quest for knowledge, tied to the human desire to unlock the laws of matter and the mysteries of the universe throughout history. Each time scientists or philosophers invoke the emerald tablet, humanity's boundaries of understanding are pushed a little further, a reminder that many great secrets still lie ahead, waiting to be revealed. Life on Mars. Since the 1970s, the question of whether life exists on Mars has remained at the heart of scientific debate. In 1976, NASA's Viking lander touched down on the red planet and carried out a series of biological experiments searching for traces of microorganisms. Among these, the labeled release experiment detected signals suggestive of biological activity. Organic materials appeared to break down when mixed with Martian soil, releasing gases that the instruments picked up. These initial results sent shockwaves through the scientific community, yet subsequent control experiments failed to confirm the presence of organic compounds, leading NASA to conclude that the reaction might have been the result of unique Martian soil chemistry, not living microbes. This denial did not end the debate. Many researchers continued to argue that the analytical methods at the time were too limited, possibly missing very simple organics or microorganisms whose structure differed entirely from life as we know it. Over nearly half a century, NASA's more advanced probes, such as Curiosity and Perseverance, have continued the search for biological evidence on Mars, equipped with ever more sophisticated tools. Soil and atmospheric samples have been gathered and analyzed repeatedly. While there has yet to be a universally accepted discovery of life, a steady stream of unusual chemical signals continues to appear. The debate among scientists only grows deeper, opening new avenues of research into life beyond Earth. The story of the Viking experiment and the decades of controversy that followed show that science is always a process of testing and retesting our theories. When it comes to the search for life on Mars, any definitive claim must be backed by irrefutable evidence. For now, the scientific community remains committed to the journey, pushing forward in the quest to find a final answer on the surface of the Red Planet. The Nyos Lake Disaster. The 1986 disaster at Lake Nyos in Cameroon stands as a stark example of how unique geological phenomena can pose grave risks to communities. Lake Nyos is a crater lake formed by ancient volcanic activity that left pockets of magma deep underground, leading to a constant seep of CO2 from vents beneath the lakebed. Over time, this CO2 accumulates, dissolving into the deep water layers and building up a compressed gas layer under high pressure. On August 21, 1986, a geological event or minor earthquake triggered the sudden eruption of this trapped CO2. The massive cloud surged to the surface and spread out across the surrounding area as a deadly cloud of death, rolling down the valley in cool nighttime air. Because CO2 is heavier than air, this cold gas hugged the ground, displacing oxygen and suffocating more than 1,700 people and 3,500 livestock within several kilometers, leaving them no time to react or escape. What made the tragedy especially devastating was its suddenness and the speed at which it spread, striking a vast area with no warning. In the aftermath, international scientific teams launched thorough investigations into the phenomenon of gas buildup and sudden release in volcanic lakes. The solution was to install a system of degassing pipes that would siphon CO2 from the lake's depths, slowly releasing it into the air at safe levels. This process helps control underwater pressure, preventing future accumulations and deadly outbursts. The Lake Nyos disaster raises serious questions about the relationship between geological hazards and public safety. Monitoring and managing crater lakes, river systems, and active volcanoes has become a top priority for disaster prevention programs. Geological events are not only important for understanding Earth's evolution, they pose real threats to those living nearby. Nyos serves as a stark reminder of the value of early warning, intervention, and international cooperation to reduce the risk of large-scale disasters and safeguard communities in vulnerable regions. The CBU manuscript. The CBU manuscript appeared in an archive in Romania, dating back to the 16th century, and has drawn special interest from historians of technology. The manuscript contains detailed descriptions of how to build multi-stage rockets, a concept that would not become reality until centuries later. Notes and drawings in the manuscript show the author not only understood the principle of fuel propulsion, but also envisioned the process of stage separation and the transfer of energy between phases of launch. This poses a serious question about the level of technical thinking in pre-modern Europe. Most scholars agree that the manuscript was the work of Konrad Haas, a German engineer serving in the military in Hungary. Konrad Haas was known for his war machinery sketches, many of which showed designs far ahead of their time and unlike anything else in 16th century Europe. Yet, the true source of his technological inspiration remains a mystery. At that time, Europeans only knew simple fireworks and basic rockets from China. Multi-stage rockets with such advanced functionality, as described in the manuscript, were unknown. There is no definitive record showing that Konrad Haas ever accessed technical knowledge from outside Europe or came across older designs. For this reason, the origins of these ideas remain a matter of debate among historians and engineers alike. The CBU manuscript stands as a remarkable testament to the creative potential of the human mind and to the non-linear ways in which knowledge and innovation can surface throughout the history of science and technology. Big Talbot Island. Big Talbot Island, located off the coast of Florida, is one of the rare archaeological sites that records the intersection between Native American cultures and the first waves of European explorers in the southeastern United States. In recent years, archaeologists working with the University of North Florida have carried out extensive excavations on the island, uncovering important evidence about an ancient city once belonging to the Mocama people, a coastal tribe who lived primarily in this region during the 16th century. Excavations revealed the existence of a complex community with a large population. The exposed cultural layers showed the foundations of dwellings, as well as many artifacts, such as indigenous pottery fragments and, notably, pieces of ceramics and utensils of European origin. These findings mark the early contact with Spanish and French explorers. Furthermore, the presence of overlapping cultural layers at a single site reflects both changes in population and the continuous ebb and flow of prosperity and exchange throughout history. Discoveries at Big Talbot Island have provided concrete evidence of a large Native American city that existed long before Europeans set foot in North America. Many clues suggest that the Mocama people maintained a vast trade network throughout the southeast, exchanging goods with neighboring communities and absorbing outside influences after European contact. Alongside European pottery shards, the research team also noted changes in housing structures and community organization, clear signs of adaptation and cultural transformation during a period of great upheaval. The ancient city on Big Talbot Island stands not only as the heritage of the Mocama, but also as living proof of the encounter and mutual impact between two entirely different worlds. Although the Mocama gradually disappeared from historical records after the 16th century, the surviving layers of cultural sediment have opened a door for scientists today to reconstruct a vivid picture of interaction, integration, and adaptation among cultures in the earliest chapters of American history. The 500,000-year-old wooden structure in Zambia. Near the banks of the Kalambo Falls in Zambia, archaeologists have made a discovery that has astonished the entire field of human evolutionary studies. They found large logs, still bearing traces of workmanship, stacked upon each other in a precise order and joined together with deep notches and interlocking joints. The age of these wooden pieces, determined by repeated laser-stimulated luminescence analysis, is about 500,000 years old, a figure that far exceeds any previous timeline for human construction. Upon closer study, archaeologists realized that the creators of this structure could not have been Homo sapiens as we know them. At this time, the direct ancestors of modern humans, had not yet appeared in Central Africa. The builders of the wooden structure near Kalambo Falls were likely Homo heidelbergensis, an archaic human group that lived in the region from about 600 years ago before vanishing and leaving behind only faint traces for posterity to discover. Alongside the crafted logs, scientists uncovered a series of ancient tools, including a large log cut flat, a branch scored with evenly spaced notches, a pointed wooden fragment, and a digging stick carved into shape. These artifacts are evidence of skilled labor, revealing the ability to imagine the finished form from the raw material and the collaboration required to create it. The entire process from selecting wood, shaping and joining pieces points to abstract thinking and architectural creativity, qualities once believed to be exclusive to modern humans, with more advanced agriculture and social life. The Kalambo structure was clearly more than a temporary shelter or simple household item. The combination of large logs shows that its builders knew how to harness material strength, using practical observation to create stable constructions capable of withstanding water, rain, and high winds near the falls. While the exact purpose remains unclear, every detail testifies to cognitive skills extending beyond instinct, reaching into invention, experimentation, and the optimization of living spaces. This discovery fundamentally changes our understanding of the organizational and creative capacities of ancient human communities. For a long time, researchers assumed that people of this era lived scattered lives, moving constantly, wholly dependent on their environment, and leaving no personal mark on their living spaces. Yet these stacked logs and carefully shaped digging sticks offer convincing proof that even 500,000 years ago, there were those who could cooperate, plan, and pass down knowledge through shared labor and keen observation. The Kalambo structure thus stands as a landmark in the search for the origins of architecture, abstract reasoning, and latent creativity within ancient humans beings we once imagined merely surviving in caves and forests. From these wooden fragments buried in the earth, history shows that the creative impulse is not exclusive to Homo sapiens, but has been forged and refined across hundreds of thousands of years, beginning with the earliest hands of our ancestors. The Great Pyramid of Ur. In the heart of ancient Mesopotamia, the city of Ur rose as a center of construction, technology, and religious devotion. Here, among clusters of mud brick houses, one iconic monument stood out: the Great Step Pyramid of Ur, or ziggurat. With its massive scale and durable architecture, the ziggurat became a testament to a time when humans mastered building materials, organized labor, managed society, and fostered collective faith. The ziggurat of Ur was begun during the reign of King Ur-Nammu at the end of the 3rd millennium BCE, and later completed by his successor, King Shulgi. Built from fired mud bricks stacked in layers, it was constructed in 3 main tiers with wide staircases ascending to the top. At the summit stood the temple of the moon god, Nana, the city's patron deity and the most important religious center for the people of Ur. The ziggurat was not only a place connecting people to the divine, but also a symbol of royal authority, stability, and political and economic prosperity. During its golden age, Ur became the capital of a vast empire, drawing people from far and wide to religious ceremonies and bustling markets. The power of the kings was felt not just through armies or laws, but also through patronage of the arts and the construction of monuments meant to endure for generations. Under Shulgi's rule, Ur reached its zenith in both scale and social organization, with a unified administration, irrigation networks, and cultural activities radiating out from the ziggurat at its center. Yet prosperity was not to last. After the powerful kings died, the dynasty weakened under pressure from outside forces and unpredictable environmental changes. When the Euphrates River shifted its course in the 4th century BCE, Ur lost its vital water source, fields were abandoned, and people left the city. The Step Pyramid and its surrounding homes fell into ruin, gradually buried by dust and sand, the remnants of a once glorious civilization. Thousands of years later, in the 19th century, European explorers first set foot on the ruins. Decades of excavation finally uncovered the ziggurat's foundations. Layer upon layer of ancient brickwork revealed a tightly constructed core and evidence of repairs by successive dynasties. Modern archaeological research has brought to light the methods of construction, materials used, and the sturdy stairways and foundations capable of supporting the monument's enormous weight. Today, although only the lower tiers and some foundations remain, the Great Ziggurat of Ur continues to draw the attention of archaeologists, material scientists, architects, and historians alike. Through all the upheavals of history, this monument endures as a symbol of creative spirit, organizational prowess, and the unyielding power of human belief. Where the voices of the ancients once echoed and generations were marked by the pyramid's shadow, questions about the rise, zenith, and decline of Mesopotamian civilization remain, inviting us to new journeys of discovery. The miracle mineral and a public health threat. Asbestos is the name for a group of fibrous minerals with a unique crystalline structure that was once widely used for its heat resistance and anti-corrosive properties. The appearance of asbestos in ancient civilizations led to many new applications. The Greeks and other ancient societies documented the use of asbestos fibers to weave fireproof fabrics and manufacture ceremonial objects and everyday items. For centuries, the physical qualities of asbestos spurred the development of entire new industries. With the arrival of the modern era, especially from the 19th century through the latter half of the 20th, asbestos became a key material in construction, the production of heat-resistant equipment, soundproofing, and many industrial products. The widespread use of asbestos transcended all geographical and cultural boundaries, creating a global supply chain. In many buildings and infrastructure projects, asbestos served as the primary barrier against fire and heat loss. However, medical studies in the 20th century revealed a direct link between long-term exposure to asbestos fibers and serious respiratory diseases. When inhaled, asbestos fibers can cause inflammation and scarring of the lung tissue, leading to asbestosis and pleural cancer. In many cases, symptoms appear only after decades of accumulation, making detection and risk management difficult. Public health statistics show that workers in asbestos mining and processing industries are far more likely to develop these illnesses than the general population. Warnings from the scientific and medical communities led to a wave of regulation and eventual bans on asbestos in many countries. From the late 20th century onward, numerous legal measures were enacted to eliminate asbestos from manufacturing and replace it with safer materials. The process of removing and disposing of old structures containing asbestos has also become a public health priority. The story of asbestos stands as a common lesson in the history of technological progress. The benefits of a new material can often conceal dangers that only become clear after long periods of use. As scientific understanding of asbestos's long-term effects has grown, the world has become more aware of the delicate balance between technological advancement and public health. This experience reinforces the need for thorough evaluation of new materials and technologies before they are widely adopted. The ghost town of Centralia. Centralia is a small town in Pennsylvania that was once a thriving coal mining community, home to thousands who lived and worked around the underground mines. In 1962, a fire broke out at a landfill near one of the mines and quickly spread to the coal seams beneath the town. Because of the complex geology and the miles of tunnels beneath Centralia, the fire continued to burn underground, completely out of control. The intense heat and ongoing combustion led to a series of long-term consequences for the local community above. The underground coal fire radically changed the ground structure of Centralia. In many parts of town, wide cracks appeared in the pavement, while hot gases and toxic smoke, including carbon monoxide and dioxide and various organic compounds, escaped to the surface, creating a significant risk of poisoning. Some areas experienced sudden subsidence as geological layers collapsed or eroded due to heat and gas, with homes and infrastructure suffering serious damage. Ongoing measurements by local authorities showed that gas concentrations in many places exceeded safety thresholds for extended periods. Faced with this crisis, traditional firefighting methods like pumping water or sealing off burning zones had little lasting effect. The underground fire kept spreading, threatening the health and safety of Centralia's residents. By the 1980s, state and federal authorities were forced to intervene with relocation and compensation programs, moving people out of the danger zone. Most residents agreed to leave, but a few stubborn families chose to stay. Gradually, houses, schools, and public buildings were torn down or closed, and the town's postal code was revoked. Today, Centralia has become a ghost town, with almost no residents remaining a stark reminder of the long-term consequences of uncontrolled industrial accidents. Many models predict that the fire beneath Centralia may burn for hundreds more years, threatening pollution and environmental change in the wider region. The tragedy of Centralia stands as a powerful lesson about the risks of resource extraction without proper attention to industrial safety and environmental impact. At the same time, it presents ongoing challenges in cleaning up industrial legacies, restoring the environment, and managing these sites in the modern age. The discovery of glowing euperlite stones. Along the shores of Lake Superior in Michigan, searching for gemstones and minerals is a way of life for many in the local community. During one of these routine searches, a rock collector noticed something unusual about certain stones when seen at night. To investigate further, he shone a UV light on his samples and was stunned to see many of the rocks emit a vivid blue glow, producing a unique luminescent effect never before recorded in the region. The glowing phenomenon quickly caught the attention of geologists and mineralogists. After thorough mineral composition analysis, experts confirmed that the glowing rocks contained sodalite, a mineral known for its ability to fluoresce under ultraviolet light. While sodalite had been previously documented in other parts of the world, the discovery of this mineral in Michigan expanded scientific understanding of mineral distribution in North America. The term euperlite was coined from the local name for residents of Michigan's Upper Peninsula, creating a new brand for both collectors and researchers. This discovery soon drew interest from both the scientific community and tourists, sparking a wave of field surveys and guided tours along the lakeshore for those eager to hunt for euperlite. The presence of these glowing stones under UV light also encouraged further research into natural mineral luminescence and potential applications for detecting new materials in technology. Beyond its scientific significance, the discovery of euperlite shifted the community's perspective on the value of studying the natural world. It is a vivid reminder that chance discoveries during fieldwork can dramatically alter scientific understanding and can also lead to sustainable economic and tourism opportunities for local communities. Educational programs focused on euperlite have spread knowledge of mineralogy to a wider audience, sparking interest in the natural sciences and building stronger connections between research and community development. The Menga Dolmen in Spain. Rising from the plains of Andalusia in southern Spain, the Menga Dolmen stands out as one of the most significant Neolithic monuments in Europe. Radiocarbon dating places its construction between 3800 and 3600 BCE, making it one of the oldest architectural works not only on the Iberian Peninsula but on the entire continent. The Menga Dolmen is not a single monolithic block, but an underground architectural system composed of 32 massive stones, meticulously arranged to form a corridor leading to the main burial chamber deep below ground. The whole structure creates an enclosed and sturdy space, with the largest stones weighing over 150 tons, positioned precisely atop upright supports and forming a vaulted ceiling that locks the stones together. In its entirety, Menga is more than a burial site. It is a testament to prehistoric people's organizational skills and their application of physical principles in construction. Recent archaeological and engineering studies have revealed how Neolithic builders moved and positioned each stone. Instead of using ramps as in traditional methods, the Menga Dolmen's creators invented a system of special slides with reduced friction surfaces and wooden rollers, allowing them to maneuver and adjust the enormous stones without damage. Notably, the roof includes a unique stone, hollowed out in a dome shape to reduce the load on weak points, a principle confirmed by modern engineers for its effectiveness under compression. Every placement in the Menga Dolmen reflects a high degree of precision. The seams are nearly perfect. The load-bearing pillars are distributed evenly around the burial chamber, creating a space capable of supporting the immense weight above. The entire construction process spanned years, requiring a large, coordinated workforce and reflecting a complex social structure and profound understanding of physics and architecture for its time. Stratigraphic research and anthropological surveys have shown that the Menga Dolmen also served as a religious and cultural center, highlighting the close ties between spiritual life and technical development in early societies. The traces left on the stones from ancient tool marks to the remnants of prehistoric pigments bear witness to humanity's ceaseless creativity in the long journey to conquer nature and assert cultural identity. The Menga Dolmen thus stands as a bridge between science and history, linking modern researchers with the past and opening new windows onto the origins of collective intelligence and creativity among Europe's ancient peoples. The subterranean structures of Masada. Perched atop a sandstone plateau near the Dead Sea, the fortress of Masada is a symbol of ancient Judea's military might Forever associated with King Herod the Great and the legendary siege against Roman forces in 74 CE. During recent field surveys, archaeologists have confirmed the existence of a vast network of underground structures beneath the fortress far larger than previously believed. These subterranean complexes were identified using geophysical methods, satellite imagery, and on-site topographic analysis. Initial data revealed numerous underground chambers radiating outward from the fortress center to the cliff's edges, connected by corridors and containing several large rooms long filled with debris. Some of these rooms, set deep within the sandstone, link directly to ancient cisterns, indicating their role in storing water and provisions during extended sieges. Above ground, the visible remains of Herod's palaces still stand. Yet the underground areas reveal no royal decoration or amenities. Instead, these are enclosed spaces designed to optimize defense and provide shelter in case of invasion. Architectural evidence shows multiple phases of repair, reinforcement, or functional transformation over history, from Herod's era through the Zealots' resistance. Ancient sources and fieldwork suggest these underground structures served not only military purposes, but also strategic storage and communal defense during periods of encirclement. However, there is no direct archaeological evidence of religious or non-military activity here, leaving the true purpose of some underground spaces an open question. Today, the underground works of Masada remain a focus for interdisciplinary research in archaeology and ancient engineering. Access and excavation are hampered by the region's rugged terrain and limited equipment. Each new finding deepens understanding of ancient Middle Eastern defense strategies and highlights the flexibility and ingenuity needed for survival in environments marked by conflict and scarcity. The enduring presence of these subterranean structures raises new theories about the scale of organization, defensive thinking, and survival scenarios among Masada's ancient communities. The mysterious underground city of Death Valley. California's Death Valley is a land of extremes, dominated by arid conditions, thick salt layers, and isolated mountains. Against this backdrop, legends of a hidden underground city have fascinated archaeologists, native scholars, and explorers for more than a century. The origins of this legend can be traced to Paiute oral traditions, which speak of a labyrinthine system called Shena-Yuav, described as a realm of spirits or an isolated ancient civilization. In the early 20th century, explorers like Bruce Russell and Daniel Bie claim to have found entrances to underground tunnels while mining and surveying in the area. Contemporary accounts describe expeditions leading to deep tunnels and large chambers, reportedly filled with artifacts, stonework, human bones, and prehistoric animal fossils. Yet subsequent attempts to rediscover these sites failed, and the scientific community has never recognized any physical evidence of their existence. Geological analysis shows Death Valley's strata are mostly sedimentary rock, mineral salts, and basalt from ancient volcanism. The possibility of large natural or artificial caves at depth is considered very low due to the harsh environment, unstable geology, and high risk of collapse. Remote sensing and satellite surveys have yet to identify any such large underground structures as described in folklore and legend. Nonetheless, the theme of a lost underground city in Death Valley persists in popular culture, indigenous history, and psychological studies of collective memory. For archaeologists, this legend is a prime example of how myth arises from the intersection of local knowledge, unique landscapes, and the personal adventures of early 20th century explorers. While no scientific evidence supports the existence of a subterranean city in Death Valley, the ongoing search and analysis of related stories enrich our understanding of how people imbue landscapes with layered meaning and historical memory in such a harsh environment. Exploding beached whales. When a whale dies and washes ashore, decomposition inside its massive body continues, generating a mix of gases, mainly methane, carbon dioxide, and volatile organic compounds. These gases build up in the body cavities, causing the carcass to swell, with internal pressure rising steadily. Externally, the whale's appearance can change dramatically in a short time. As its belly and torso balloon, the skin grows taut and cracks appear. Without intervention, gas pressure is often slowly released through tiny splits in the skin, reducing the risk of explosion. However, in some cases, the carcass is disturbed by impact, tissue sampling, movement, or human curiosity. When the skin or muscle is suddenly pierced or torn, internal pressure can be released explosively, sending tissue and fluids spraying into the surrounding area. This phenomenon has been recorded along coastlines worldwide, attracting attention not only for its danger, but for the lingering stench, which complicates removal and disposal. For marine researchers, handling a beached whale carcass is both a technical and a biohazard challenge. Specialized procedures must be used to safely relieve gas pressure, conduct necropsies, or remove the remains without putting teams or the public at risk. Wildlife agencies routinely advise locals and tourists not to approach or interfere with dead whales, especially those in advanced decomposition. Exploding whale incidents are a vivid reminder of the dangers of uncontrolled curiosity when dealing with large marine carcasses. Observation and study should be left to trained professionals with proper protective gear, and public education is critical to prevent accidents and protect coastal communities. These events also highlight the need for effective marine management and environmental science, ensuring that the removal and study of large animal remains is handled safely for the benefit of both ecosystems and human health. Malta's secret tunnel network. Beneath the surface architecture of Valletta, the capital of Malta, lies a network of underground tunnels stretching for dozens of kilometers, connecting fortresses, barracks, supply depots, and command centers. The formation and expansion of this labyrinth date back to the late 16th century, when the Knights of Malta built fortified cities to repel Ottoman attacks. Over time, the system was further strengthened during the British era and through later military upheavals. It remains a prime example of integrating underground military works into a Mediterranean urban environment, demonstrating the community's adaptability, organization, and strategic resilience through many generations. According to historical records and architectural surveys, Malta's tunnel network was designed for more than just transporting goods and troops. It also housed armories, medical stations, large-scale shelters, and underground corridors linking the citadels on the city's hilltops. The main tunnels are built with arched limestone ceilings, ensuring structural strength and resistance to bombs and shelling, while auxiliary branches open into larger chambers for troop assembly or defense during prolonged sieges. The system features ventilation shafts, wells, emergency exits, and hidden stairways cleverly disguised behind stone walls or beneath city squares. Archaeological evidence shows that during major conflicts such as the Great Siege of Malta in 1565 and the World War II air raids, the tunnels played a vital role in collective defense strategies. During these underground battles, both sides frequently dug new passages, blocked off sections, or expanded the tunnels, resulting in fierce skirmishes below ground that rivaled those above. The network was also used flexibly as food stores, civilian shelters, weapons workshops, and secret communication hubs, adapting to changing tactical needs. As military use gradually declined after the late 20th century, many sections of Valletta's tunnels were preserved or repurposed as heritage sites, serving historical, architectural, and urban archaeological research. Some chambers still bear the marks of earlier uses: reinforced walls, fireproofing, medical equipment, and graffiti chronicling the memories of those who once took refuge there. The system stands as a tangible testament to generations of adaptation to war, merging local knowledge, building technology, and collective survival in an environment of persistent conflict. Ongoing research, excavation, and preservation of Valletta's subterranean structures have helped clarify the history of urban defense in the Mediterranean and reinforced Malta's central role in trade, conflict, and cultural exchange from the medieval period to modern times. Each layer of the tunnels is an unspoken record of historical turbulence, reflecting humanity's ingenuity in building, sustaining, and adapting to challenging environments throughout civilization's progress. The collapsing bridge in Ireland. The near collapse of a railway bridge in Ireland has become a classic example of the hidden risks involved in managing and maintaining critical infrastructure. The bridge, which spanned the Malahide estuary, was a key link in the region's transportation network, connecting main rail lines to the city centre. In 2009, during a routine passenger train run, the conductor noticed instability in the bridge's foundation as the train was about to cross. Thanks to his quick thinking, he slowed down and issued an emergency alert. Just minutes later, a long section of the bridge gave way and fell into the estuary, fortunately, with no harm to passengers or the train. Immediately after the incident, regulatory authorities and independent investigators launched a full-scale analysis to determine the cause. the investigation revealed significant gaps in the bridge's inspection and maintenance routines. Signs of wear at the foundation and load-bearing points had been present for some time, but were left unaddressed. Many inspection reports were ignored or incomplete, allowing corrosion and erosion at the bridge's base to worsen unchecked. The incident highlighted the grave consequences of negligence in infrastructure maintenance, safety checks, and operations. Without early detection and intervention, such failures can result in severe loss of life and property, as well as disruption of vital transport routes impacting both daily life and the wider economy. In response, the Irish government undertook a thorough review of all bridges and rail lines nationwide. Maintenance and inspection protocols were strengthened, with new technologies introduced for real-time monitoring and early warning. Training programs for technical staff were expanded to ensure accountability and efficiency in running critical infrastructure. The Malahide Bridge collapse serves as a sharp reminder of the crucial role that safety oversight plays in all areas of construction, transportation, and urban development. No matter how solidly infrastructure is built, it demands ongoing vigilance, maintenance, and professional responsibility to guard against risks that could endanger entire communities and society as a whole. The hazardous mineral orpiment. Orpiment is a vivid yellow mineral composed mainly of arsenic sulfide. Throughout history, it has played various roles across different civilizations. The ancient Egyptians used orpiment for decorative crafts, cosmetics, and even medicine. In medieval Europe, it was employed in treatments and as a pigment for manuscripts, murals, and ceremonial items. In ancient times, people did not fully understand the toxic properties of the arsenic in orpiment. Grinding the mineral into powder for paint or direct use in cosmetics and medicine led to the absorption of arsenic through the skin or lungs, with users unaware of the risks. Medieval artists often mixed their own pigments, working for long periods with orpiment without protective equipment, greatly increasing their chances of arsenic poisoning. Orpiment left its mark on many masterpieces, especially in religious art, where yellow symbolized divinity and glory. In manuscripts and paintings of the Middle Ages, orpiment was sometimes used as a substitute for gold leaf when resources were scarce. The mineral also found use in ancient Egyptian leather tanning, serving as a preservative thanks to its natural antibacterial properties. Yet, orpiment's history illustrates the complex relationship between humans and natural minerals. Its alluring color drew generations of artists, healers, and craftsmen into prolonged contact with arsenic, leading to health problems only understood much later. Today, studies of orpiment artifacts help reconstruct historical manufacturing processes and stand as evidence of the limited understanding of toxicity in the past. Orpiment is now mainly preserved in mineral collections and museums. Research into its composition and ancient uses has contributed greatly to the history of chemistry, medicine, and art, serving as a cautionary tale that, despite their value, natural minerals can pose severe health risks if their toxicity is not properly controlled. The Boot of Cortez Gold Nugget. The Sonoran Desert of Mexico was the setting for one of the most extraordinary mineral discoveries of the modern era. In 1989, a man using an ordinary metal detector stumbled upon a signal deep beneath the soil. At first, he assumed it was just a piece of common scrap metal, but as he dug, the object turned out to be far larger than expected. Finally, he unearthed a gold nugget weighing 27 pounds and shaped remarkably like a boot. It was soon named the Boot of Cortez. The Boot of Cortez is composed mostly of native gold, about 80%, along with silver and quartz. Analysis confirmed it as the largest gold nugget ever found in the Western Hemisphere by handheld metal detection. After its discovery, the nugget passed through several owners. It was initially sold for $30,000, but by 2008, its auction price had soared to more than $1,553,500. The discovery of the Boot of Cortez is a vivid demonstration of the element of chance and uncertainty in mineral prospecting. Success does not depend on expensive equipment or advanced geological expertise, but on persistence and determination. The nugget also highlights the link between individual discovery and the shared value of geological heritage. Beyond its market value, the Boot of Cortez tells the story of mineral formation through complex geological processes over millions of years. To this day, it remains the largest natural gold nugget ever found by an individual using a metal detector in the Western Hemisphere. The story of the Boot of Cortez emphasizes the importance of luck in field science. while also reflecting humanity's limitless drive to explore the unknown. This nugget has become an icon of applied geology, a testament to our ongoing quest to uncover and understand what lies hidden beneath the Earth's surface. The Antarctic alien base theory. Satellite images captured near Antarctica have revealed long, linear structures and geometric blocks submerged beneath the icy waters offshore. When these images surfaced online, they quickly became a focal point among UFO enthusiasts and proponents of extraterrestrial theories. Many claimed that the features were the remnants of a vast alien base, built by a non-human civilization and buried over time. Despite the ongoing debates and the widespread attention this theory has received, mainstream scientists remain skeptical. Geologists, oceanographers, and archaeologists generally believe these structures are the product of long-term natural processes, such as tectonic activity, underwater volcanism, and the erosive force of powerful Antarctic currents. They point out that, so far, no archaeological or artificial materials have been recovered from these sites to suggest a non-terrestrial origin. Experts also note that even the latest satellite imaging technologies can produce geometric illusions due to unusual lighting, shifting ice, or the variable depths of the ocean, leading to misinterpretations in the absence of detailed on-site investigation. Nevertheless, the idea of an alien base in Antarctica continues to fuel curiosity, standing as a symbol of the ongoing dialogue between unconventional speculation and scientific scrutiny in the digital age. A newly discovered city in Peru. Near the city of Cusco, a newly uncovered archaeological site has captured the special attention of South American researchers. Here, archaeologists have found traces of an ancient architectural complex that includes large-scale temples, solidly built stone walls, and a wealth of artifacts, silver crowns, jewelry, and items associated with the ruling class. These artifacts have been identified as belonging to the Wari culture, a powerful civilization in Peru that thrived from the 7th to the 11th centuries. The Wari are recognized as the first pre-Inca empire to establish a centralized social management system, profoundly influencing later indigenous cultures. At the heart of the site stands the central temple, which functioned as both a place for religious rituals and likely a trading hub for the local community. The temple's structure reflects classic Wari construction techniques, using massive stones carefully fitted together with minimal mortar. The discovery of a silver crown and numerous ornaments buried alongside the remains confirms the special status of the elite or priestly class and demonstrates a remarkable level of metalworking skill for the time. These artifacts display both similarities and distinct differences compared to the later goldsmithing traditions of the Inca. Remarkably, within the same site, researchers also found evidence of Inca continuity, distinctive artifacts, and new construction methods added to the ancient buildings. This suggests that after the fall of the Wari Empire, the Inca took over and transformed the architectural space, inheriting and adapting important cultural elements. This process further supports the idea of cultural exchange and succession between the pre-Inca and Inca empires, adding crucial data to the story of South America's great urban centers. This new site not only expands our understanding of Peru's history, but also clarifies the evolving relationship between religion, power, and social change over the centuries. It helps unravel the complex transfer of authority and culture from the Wari period to the era of Inca brilliance. The mysterious structure beneath the Sea of Galilee. Beneath the waters of the Sea of Galilee, a cone-shaped basalt structure was detected through geophysical surveys. This monument consists of multiple stacked layers of stone, measuring about 70 meters across and standing over 10 meters high, with an estimated total weight of around 60,000 tons, far larger than any comparable land-based structures from the same era. Detailed analysis showed the structure was built from locally quarried basalt stones, deliberately arranged without the use of any binding agents or mortar. The conical geometry provides stability and helps distribute the load across the lower layers. Any movement or deformation caused by water remains within the natural limits of the lake's environment. As for its purpose, archaeologists currently consider three main possibilities. It may have served as a center for aquaculture, a site for collective rituals, or a marker for sacred space. Although no cultural remains or signs of habitation have been found, sediment analysis and comparisons to lakeshore sites suggest it was built sometime between 2,000 and 12,000 years ago. Geological evidence indicates that at the time of construction, the water level may have been lower than today, making it easier to transport and arrange the stones. The greatest challenge in research is the underwater environment itself: currents, silt accumulation, limited preservation of organic materials, and the risk of collapse during surveys. Since large-scale excavation is not yet possible, most studies rely on sonar data, stone sampling, and dives with specialized equipment. The conical stone structure beneath the Sea of Galilee remains a topic of debate regarding its origin, function, and the technical abilities of its builders. The monument demonstrates a high degree of labor organization, material knowledge, and geometric application by ancient Jordan Valley peoples, raising new questions about social development in the region's prehistoric past. The largest pink diamond. The Lulo Rose diamond was discovered at the Lulo mine in Angola, an area with unique geological conditions, ideal for forming large, high-quality diamonds. This discovery has been recognized as the largest pink diamond found in the last 3 centuries, marking a milestone for the mining industry and international gemstone collectors alike. In its raw state, the Lulo Rose weighs 170 carats, far surpassing most previously recorded colored diamonds worldwide. The successful extraction of the diamond is the result of careful geological surveys and the use of advanced sorting technology in Angola's mineral-rich north. Structurally, pink diamonds are chemically no different from colorless ones. However, the cause of their pink hue is still not fully understood in material science. Many theories suggest that the color is the result of crystal lattice distortion under immense pressure, but the precise process remains a subject of ongoing research. The Lulo Rose's vivid color sets it apart from other diamonds of similar size and greatly increases its value on the high-end jewelry and collectors' markets. After being unearthed, the diamond underwent classification, quality assessment, and documentation of its physical and chemical properties for potential display, craftsmanship, or international auction. The actual sale price remains undisclosed, as is customary in the gemstone industry, to protect commercial secrets and market stability. The Lulo Rose is now ranked alongside world-famous colored diamonds such as the Pink Star and the Daria Ainur, both of which have achieved staggering prices at global auctions. This discovery highlights the value of geological research, mining technology, investment, and the importance of natural resources for national economies and the global marketplace. The Lulo Rose Pink Diamond stands as both a material treasure and a geological legacy, symbolizing a chapter in Angola's mining industry. The worth of such rare gems lies not only in their beauty, but also in their formation history, extraction process, natural rarity, and the way they connect cultures through trade, display, and preservation. Europe's oldest mosque. Geophysical surveys in the area of the ancient city of Recopolis, located in central rural Spain, have revealed the underground traces of a unique religious structure. Researchers believe these may be the remains of the oldest mosque in Europe. Magnetic mapping has uncovered wall remnants, foundations, corridors, and floor plans unlike those of typical Visigothic or Roman buildings. Notably, the main hall is oriented away from the city's ancient street grid and instead faces Mecca, the defining characteristic of Islamic architecture. The region was once the heart of the Visigothic kingdom, established in the 6th century and prominent politically and religiously in post-Roman Iberia. After Arab armies invaded the peninsula in the early 8th century and took control of the area, many new religious structures appeared, transforming the urban layout and the existing power structure. The surveys show that the remains, walls, foundations, courtyards, entrances fit the early mosque layout: an open prayer space, side corridors, and a Qibla wall facing southeast. This design is completely different from contemporary Christian or Visigothic churches. Absolute dating of the ruins is not yet possible, since no direct excavation has been carried out, but surrounding documents and archaeological evidence suggest the area was heavily urbanized from the late 7th century and underwent rapid changes after 711, when Islamic forces captured Recopolis. The presence of a large mosque here reflects how the new religious space was integrated into the old city, and it demonstrates the reach of Islamic architecture and ritual in early medieval Spain. Archaeologically, this discovery expands our understanding of urban, religious, and social transformation during periods of cultural exchange. If confirmed by future excavation, this could be the oldest mosque in Europe, predating even famous sites like the Mesquita of Córdoba. The spread of Islamic architecture across Iberia is not just evidence of conquest, but of adaptation and co-creation between local and imported traditions. This finding, beyond its historical significance, also highlights the potential of magnetic surveying and non-invasive techniques in uncovering ancient urban centers buried beneath the soil. Such work enriches our knowledge of city building, spatial organization, and religious transformation in early medieval Western Europe. The resurrection of Atlas. In the ancient Temple Valley on Sicily, the statue of the god Atlas has recently been reassembled from fragments buried deep in the earth for millennia. This colossal figure, over 8 meters tall, was once part of the Grand Temple of Zeus, built by the Greeks in the ancient city of Acragas during the 6th century BCE. In Greek mythology, Atlas was the Titan condemned to bear the weight of the sky after the Titans fell to Zeus and the Olympian gods. His fate is entwined with endurance and strength, immortalized in stone and placed before the temple as a living pillar supporting the structure and reminding mortals of the order of the cosmos. The ruins of the Atlas statue were scattered around the temple foundations as early as the 19th century, when Western archaeologists first documented their presence amid fallen walls and toppled columns. Over the decades, research teams gradually restored the Titan's form using digital modeling, 3D terrain scans, and careful comparison with ancient texts and artifacts. Reconstructing Atlas is not just a tribute to the heritage of Greek art, but also a milestone in modern archaeology, where technology and historical data combine to restore the ancient world. Although the Temple of Zeus was never fully completed and much of its structure has been destroyed by ancient wars, the presence of Atlas endures not only as a mythic figure, but as the last remaining pillar of a civilization that once flourished on the Mediterranean shore. Now, standing once more in the valley, Atlas has risen from the earth, continuing to bear witness to history bridging mythology and science, and opening new perspectives on the art, religion, and construction genius of ancient Greece. The naked black hole. The concept of a naked black hole stems from mathematical models within Einstein's general theory of relativity, dealing with those regions of space and time where the density of matter and gravitational fields reach infinite values. This gravitational singularity is usually hidden by a physical boundary called the event horizon, a barrier from which neither matter nor information can ever escape. In a typical black hole, the event horizon acts as a kind of shield, completely isolating the singularity from the rest of the universe. However, solutions to Einstein's field equations under certain special conditions have predicted the possibility of singularities that are not covered by an event horizon. In such cases, all the extreme physical effects produced by the singularity could directly influence the outside universe. A naked singularity is a kind of exposed gravitational singularity, one left unprotected by any boundary. The existence of such an object poses a profound challenge to the internal consistency of modern physics, since virtually all theories rely on the principle of causality and the idea that natural phenomena can be predicted. In theoretical physics, the hypothesis of a naked singularity has sparked deep debate about the completeness and limitations of general relativity itself. Some mathematical models show that under conditions of rapid spin, or when a star collapses with extremely high angular momentum, the event horizon may fail to form completely, leaving the singularity exposed to spacetime. Physicists refer to these cases as violations of the cosmic censorship conjecture, a principle that suggests nature always hides singularities behind an event horizon in order to protect the fundamental laws of physics from breaking down. Even so, up to now, there has been no experimental observation confirming the existence of a naked singularity. Numerical simulations and data collected by modern astronomy continue to show that all real black holes possess clearly defined event horizons. Some scientists predict that if naked singularities do exist, they would produce unique physical signals or gravitational waves that could be detected through next-generation astronomical technology. The idea of a naked singularity not only deepens foundational questions about cosmology, gravity, and quantum physics, but also opens new avenues for exploring the structure of space-time and the true nature of the laws of nature in environments never before tested. Whether naked singularities exist or not remains one of the central mysteries that modern physics is still grappling with, a mystery that may eventually help us complete the larger picture of the universe's origin and the dynamics that drive its evolution. If you find these mysterious stories fascinating, feel free to share your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel so you won't miss any of our upcoming discoveries. We look forward to seeing you in the next video.